Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to this Atempo session webinar today. And we're going to be looking at the latest release of Miria 2021 R1. It's actually the second major release of the year, second release out of 4. So there's a lot of stuff going on with Miria this year, and we're only halfway there. So with me to talk about the latest features in this particular version, I'm very pleased to welcome Louis Laszlo, Atempo Director of Product Management. Hi, Louis.
Hello, Nick.
Thanks for joining us. Louis is going to be doing a shortish presentation, around about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then we'll take some time for questions. So the whole thing should be wrapped up within about 30 minutes. So the big subject today is going to be disaster recovery and continuity of activity. So that's where we're going to be placing the emphasis. So I'll hand over to Louis. Just before I do that, just to mention that if you do have any questions, technical or otherwise, please do use the questions tab next to the chat in the Livestorm page, and we'll take your questions at the end. Thanks very much. Over to you, Louis.
Okay, thanks for the introduction. So welcome everyone to this session. Before beginning and jumping to Miria 2021 Release 1, for newcomers, I will introduce a bit what is Miria. So Miria, it's a technical framework and technical technology we have introduced into Atempo at least 10 years ago to manage problematics around unstructured data and large volume of unstructured data. So we have designed a technical architecture to provide a solution to achieve data movement in this kind of environment, and to provide capacity and performances to achieve backup, migration, archiving, and data moves for large unstructured data and for large volume of unstructured data. So it's a technical product suite we provide in Atempo, and today we will cover a new version implementing the technical suite with new features helping you to manage more problematics around large volume of unstructured data. Miria is fully storage agnostic. As you can see, we have a very large compatibility guide. We support a very large scope of storage technology around unstructured data. It's covered NAS, file system, cloud, object storages, air-gap technologies, so like such LTO, but also Sony ODA. And today we can achieve data movement from anything to anything. We can achieve data movement and backup or archiving tasks from a NAS to a tape, from a tape to a cloud. Whatever the storage technology involved into data movement, we can achieve like backup and archiving, data movement, synchronization, operation across this kind of storages. And today, I have the pleasure to present to you what we deliver into Miria 2021 Release 1. So this release will be available end of this week. So for all existing customers, you will receive a push mail end of this week, and you will find the binaries to download directly from the support website with your usual credential, and you will be able to download the new version. So in this version, we have included a lot of things. The first one is a Snapstor. It's a new, very interesting features, and I won't go in detail. I will go in detail in a couple of seconds. And we have a very interesting list of improvements we have introduced and pushed into that release. And you will see we will enhance the global user experience with Miria with this long list of improvements we have introduced in Miria 2021 Release 1. First, Snapstor. Before going into the technical solution we have implemented with Snapstor, I would like to put a context around that. So first one, Snapstor is oriented to help people in backup of large environments. So when I say large environment, as I said during the introduction, it covers large volume of data, but also large capacity of data, but also large number of files. You know, it's as challenging and as difficult to manage a large number of very small files than large capacity of data. So today, organizations that generate large volume of data are confronting to issues to guarantee the business continuity, to guarantee to prevent any interruption and downtime of their activity in case of major incidents. And today, traditional backup solutions are no longer efficient. No longer efficient to provide an efficient backup because they do not respect backup windows, but also in case of restoration, or case of needs of restoration, need of retrieve, it will take hours, days, weeks, months to recover the activity. And for a lot of verticals, for a lot of organization, it's not anymore compatible, and it's not anymore efficient to guarantee a business continuity. So all that organizations are looking for solution to guarantee that. And it's we will try to do to put and to push with Miria Snapstor features today. So what is Snapstor? Snapstor, it's a feature we have introduced into Miria backup stack, and it works very. It works very simple. It's very simple to understand. You will define a backup task into the product from a NAS or parallel file system to Snapstor compatible storage. And at the end of each backup task, Snapstor will reapplies all permission from the source on the target repository, on the where you have located your Snapstor backup repository. We will copy and create all NFS exports and CFS shares on secondary storage. And we will secure all the data with a snapshot to guarantee the data integrity of the last version, but also to manage versioning and offer the capability to retrieve a peer-reviewed version of one or more objects, or the full backup and to retrieve the full storage from a previous version. So at the end of the storage, we will apply all permission, we copy and sync all the NFS export and CFS shares, and we secure the data with a snapshot. And in the event of the disaster, if it's a small incident and you have just to recover a few objects, you will have the capability to retrieve this object directly from the Snapstor, from the Miria in the web interface, sorry. Or in case of major incident, you will be able, as an admin, as a storage admin, to provide to a user or a few of them access to the backup data, so to switch user from the primary storage to the secondary storage. Like that, accelerate the disaster recovery plan because they will immediately access to the data and continue to their job directly from the secondary storage. And in the meantime, you will be able to initiate the retrieve operation from the previous snapshot and to select a specific snapshot in a time and to select a specific version in time with a time navigation mechanism implemented in our product. And once the recovery operation is done, to resynchronize all changes made by users on the secondary storage on the primary storage, and like that to guarantee any data loss during the disaster recovery plan activation. So Snapstor will help you to have a business continuity, not a continuity of continuity. It's not a continuity so it's not a solution guarantee a continuity of your storage production. It helps you to guarantee a business continuity by having a very efficient disaster recovery plan for large volume of unstructured data. So as images are more efficient than words, we have prepared a small video to summarize all the magic inside Snapstor.
Miria for Backup is the first backup solution to provide instant disaster recovery for your exascale and petascale storages. Okay, right. Yeah, we know. Backup is not the tech you were expecting to get excited about in 2021. If I had to sum up what Miria does for the data protection of your storages, I would say that Miria is the world's most versatile and scalable DR solution for protecting your exascale, unstructured datasets, and file storages. The one thing our customers have in common is that they have lots of unstructured data. And when I say a lot, here's the thing. Disaster can strike at any moment, and it's rarely good news. One of our customers told us that losing a petabyte of storage was bad, but waiting to get the new storage was even worse. Worse because, while waiting for the new storage to be built and delivered, our customer was left looking at their backup tapes, thinking and looking at an older storage platform, then thinking some more and asking questions like, why can't I use my tape backups to restore to this other smaller storage? And all they heard was, it's not compatible, it's not the same vendor, it's not the same system. And there is more. Restoring. Yes, restoring backed up data for days, weeks, and months while people and apps were stopped. What a pain! This drove them nuts as there is no fighting with big numbers. Due to the huge number of files and folders stored in a petabyte scale storage, restoring data could take months. We have a way to not only back up petabyte quantities of unstructured data, but also provide near to instant restart after a major incident happening in your main storage by using the backup repo for production. It's called Miria's Snapstor. I'll explain using drawings. My primary storage here, powering users and business apps, is backed up by Miria. Miria stores backups on a second storage, maybe a different type or brand. If the main storage fails, users and apps are unable to work. During this short period of time, the IT teams leverage Snapstor on the secondary storage. Shares are rapidly available from backed up data, and that's it. Now you can progressively connect users and apps so they continue working. It's transparent to them. Talk about pulling a rabbit out of a hat. It sounds great already, doesn't it? Now, here's where the story gets even better. The day our customer receives the new storage, Miria restores the data based on departments and app business priorities. It still can take weeks, but your user and apps are available and productive, right? Once the old data is in the new storage, Miria synchronizes the new data from the production users, and one day, you press a switch and bam! Your users and apps are back to normal, working on the new storage. So allow me to summarize this for you. Losing a storage, but being able to support production while waiting for the delivery of the new one. Being able to prioritize data restore while supporting production and protecting the new daily data. This means minimal impact on your business. Almost no production downtime. Not bad for a regular IT team equipped with Miria and Snapstor, right? Add to this the possibility to deploy tape or cloud backup to the mix. Yes, I believe you are getting the picture. So if you want to be able to feel what it's like to recover your petabyte scale ecosystem with Miria's Snapstor, just visit www.atempo.com/Miria.
Okay, so as a summary, Snapstor and Miria for Backup with Snapstor feature will help you to simplify your disaster recovery plan, even in case of major incidents. It will help you to limit the production downtime with the easy switch capability from primary to secondary storage without taking into consideration all permission stuff and CIFS recreation and so on. All the automation are done by Miria to resynchronize all permission and all CIFS and export things directly from primary to secondary. So you will just have to switch your user from primary to secondary, and like that, limit the production downtime for a few of your users or all your users or all your application, and to prioritize who have access first to the secondary storage. You limit the data use and you guarantee the limit data use. All the changes made by user on secondary storage during your disaster recovery plan will be synchronized and resynchronized thanks to Miria at the end of your disaster recovery plan activation. And Miria will help you to manage the restore and the production restart. As I say, we will help you to resynchronize data from secondary to primary storages, and we will help you to guarantee data integrity during all the data movement operation by the amazing integrity check mechanism we have introduced into Miria in previous releases. So Snapstor, it's a full, and Snapstor will complete the Miria for Backup value proposal by introducing that new capability to provide an efficient and a very easy and fast disaster recovery plan. If we talk about compatibility, so as primary storage, we are compatible with all NAS offering a CIFS or NFS access. even if it's hosted in the cloud. Today, I think you have seen that, and you are already figuring that kind of architecture. You can deploy your NAS on-site, but also in the cloud, or mix of both, on-premise, replicate to the cloud, or documentary. And you can use as target storage today with Miria, but compatible with the Snapstor, a GPFS, a Variation Store, a Dell Isilon, or no, it's called PowerScale in more Isilon, and a Cumulo. And we will enrich that compatibility guide for the Snapstor compatibility, so to where you can host your Snapstor repository with new NAS brand vendor in a couple of months, and you will see next release. Stay tuned in next release and the release after. We have already planned to add a new NAS vendor, a new model to that compatibility list. I can already talk about VAST and also DDN IntelliFlash as a new target where we'll be able to store Snapstor repository backup. Alibaba Cloud, as you know, in previous releases, and from one release to another, we add more cloud into our Miria compatibility list. We support already today Amazon, Wasabi, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, and all cloud or object storages offering an S3 or Swift compatible access. And today we have had Alibaba Cloud with all features offered by Alibaba Cloud, and it is fully supported by Miria as a source storage, but also as a target repository for backup, archiving, synchronization, migration workflows, and it's accessible from any region. All region where Alibaba Cloud is available, Miria will be able to address it and to use it as a source of the or a target storage. To help our customers with multiple teams, with geo-distributed team, and it's something a large organization has to manage, a geo-distributed team with local team for the different subdivisionaries. We have decided to translate the user interface of Miria in Chinese. So to help our customers with local team in China, we have completely translate the user interface of the product, but also the documentation. So today, if you have a local team in China, it will help you and it will ease you the way you can distribute the administration of Miria, even with the local team in China. Identity databases. Today with Miria, we have an embedded Postgres cluster and cluster Postgres instance, including a product. But today, more and more partners and customers are concerned by the availability of the product, and they are looking for a more available solution with Miria, and they want to have something more efficient to provide an availability in the infrastructure around Miria. So we have done some progress. We have invested in research and development to find solutions to deploy and to guarantee a very availability product. And today we can offer 3 deployment modes for the Miria database. And so we use PostgreSQL as a backend database for Miria. And today we can deploy as before PostgreSQL in a standalone mode, even with a replication, and to have a cold standby system. But we have also introduced a compatibility with Patroni. Patroni, it's an open source component put on top of PostgreSQL and helping to deploy, manage, monitor, and to scale efficiently a Postgres instance. And like that, you can distribute PostgreSQL nodes. You can eventually geo-distribute your Postgres nodes, and the system Patroni will manage and monitor and automatically switch from one instance to another. And like that, we can offer a very navigability in infrastructure. We can also offer, and it's a new capability we have introduced into when we have done this development, the capability to use an external Postgres instance of cluster. So if you have only skills internally around PostgreSQL, if you have already infrastructure an existing PostgreSQL infrastructure on site, you can eventually use your own Postgres instance cluster, or you can also use PostgreSQL database offered by major cloud providers. Today, major cloud providers and all the major cloud providers are offering database as a service solution. So you can take a look on Microsoft Azure website, on Amazon website, or VH website, and I think all those, and you will find all the names to add to at least. They all offering a database as a service solution for PostgreSQL, and like that you can externalize all the pragmatics around managing a PostgreSQL instance cluster. They will guarantee the availability of the cluster. They will guarantee the efficient backup of the cluster, and they will offer you a very high level of service. So if you want to use an external database on site or even in the cloud or anywhere you want, you will be able to do it thanks that new capability of Atempo. So to summarize, three different deployment modes. One in standalone, like we do for 4 years, with Patroni to distribute nodes, but also to geo-distribute nodes, all managed by Atempo, and also to use your own database or to use a database offered by a cloud provider. Public REST API. For years with Miria, we offer a different way to manage the product through the web interface, through an XML web service, and also with a C++ API. Today, we add a new capability to manage Miria, a full REST API. In this version, it's a beta version of this public REST API. We have a first scope of functionalities delivered. This first scope covers more or less the same scope as we cover already with the XML web service and the C++ API, all on-demand operation, all capability to monitor the product, all capability to manage your tape storages and data movers. So the first scope of functionality, and from one release to another, we will continue to add new capabilities. What we ambition is to, in 2022, to offer all the features offered by the web interface in this public REST API. So like that, you will be able to manage and to pilot the Miria product only with API if you don't want to use any web interface, and to embed Miria product in your global workflow, or eventually to create an offer on top of Miria. Today, we have customers creating, for example, Glacier equivalents and using Miria as a black box, fully integrated into their global offer, into their product. And the documentation is available directly in the product with an interactive mode, so you can directly in the documentation test. In the web documentation, test your queries, and like that, it helps you during your development phase by doing testing your query directly from the interface. So it's dev oriented, and it's very easy to use and very easy to test and easy to discover. Setup enhancement. For someone who has already deployed Miria, you will understand what I will talk about. Today, you need a graphic interface to deploy Miria data movers or Miria server. So we have worked on that, and today we have two new capability. We continue to support capability to set up the product in thanks to a graphical interface. So in graphical mode, but you'll be able also to deploy without any graphic interface, and to deploy it in thanks to interactive CLI. So the setup will ask you for questions, and I will ask you the different settings to apply to during the setup. Or you will be able to provide all the options and settings directly in the command line arguments, or to give a manifest file where you will have described the different options to set up, and during the setup command line, you will provide the path of this manifest file, and like that, initiate a full silent command line. All of this enhancement will help you to automate the way you distribute the products, the way you you scale your infrastructure, because today, thanks to that development, you can imagine to deploy with Miria data movers or Miria server with data tools like Puppet, Ansible, Tower, Chef, and anything you have as a deployment tool. One thing not present on that slide, and it's a teaser, I suppose, a thing coming for next year. We are working by packaging Miria components into Docker. So in 2022, you will be able to deploy and to manage and to scale in a more easy way with a Docker compatible architecture, and if, for example, to deploy Miria into an existing Kubernetes cluster and to put Miria into your existing Kubernetes cluster. One more thing, as Nick mentioned, for 2021 is a very rich year for Miria and Atempo. We have already delivered one version at the beginning of the year. That's the second I have covered today in this session. And in a few weeks, we will introduce Miria for Analytics. So you haven't heard a lot of Miria for Analytics yet. Maybe some of you have already heard a bit more about Miria for Analytics. We will schedule a webinar dedicated for Miria for Analytics to introduce what we cover with Miria for Analytics, what we have, what is the plan we have with Miria for Analytics. So stay tuned. You will receive different communication and different marketing materials in coming days about Miria for Analytics. And I give you rendezvous for next webinar to discover what is the magic inside Miria for Analytics, the fifth pillar of Miria. We have worked for years onto, and we will release in a couple of weeks. So now, if you have any question, it remains time to tweet it and to answer.
Thanks very much, Louis. It's Nick here again, and great presentation. I think it was great because we had a mix, I think, of present customers and I hope some future customers and partners today. So it's good that you gave them a heads up at the beginning as well about what Miria does. And I think what we can see this year is that the features are obviously enriching, but at the same time, the product itself is becoming much simpler, much easier to use. So that's really good. We do have a couple of questions for you that I've noted down and seen here. Two on Snapstor. Well, a couple of questions actually on price. Is Snapstor free or do we have to purchase an add-on license?
So today, the pricing model of Miria is a subscription model. It's based on the duration and the commitment you take on the duration you want to subscribe, and also the volume. There is no extra cost for all features, for any features. So all features are included into the base price. The pricing evolves only based, and we charge only on volume or duration you subscribe.
Okay, so no hidden cost. That's good to know. Just before I ask the next question, just mention that there is a poll for this particular webinar. If you'd like to answer a couple of the questions that we've put up there for you on the webinar itself, and perhaps on some of your current or future projects with Miria or with your unstructured data. So please do take a couple of seconds just to look at that for us. And I'll move on with the next question. Louis, yeah, basically somebody wants to know how long it would take to access the secondary storage when switching using Snapstor, so going from primary to secondary and having that secondary storage being used as a production storage. How long does that take?
I wouldn't say depend on you. No, but seriously, during the design architecture and the phase, we will design the architecture together with customers and partners on that project. We will put in place a manual procedure to switch user from the primary to the secondary storage, or we will automate that by different network system or different mechanism like HA-Proxy, for example. But during the discover phase and during the design phase, we will, based on the different needs and based on different requirements away by the customer, we will design the architecture. So I haven't a generic question. Miria doesn't manage to switch from one storage to another. Miria will manage the correct data movement, the correct backup, and the correct resynchronization of permission and shares, and the switch between primary and secondary will be managed in a case by system admin, storage system admin, or in another one, it could be managed by an automatic system detecting a shutdown of primary storage and switching user from one to the other. So during the design phase and during the discovery phase, we will work together, Atempo, our partner, and the customer to design the better architecture to answer to the different requirements fixed.
Okay, but we can't say that the actual switch will be quick enough that the end user might not even notice that the storage has changed?
It could be possible.
Okay, okay, fantastic. There's a question on, you mentioned one of the slides was on the high availability databases, and somebody says, if I already have a Postgres database, do I have to reconfigure it for Miria?
So you have the capability to switch from the embed Postgres deployment to your own, and to ensure that your own existing PostgreSQL instance is fully compatible with Miria. Before doing the switch, Miria will check all the settings of your existing PostgreSQL instance and check the compliance of your PostgreSQL instance with the requirements and with the settings needed by Miria or supported by Miria to offer the best level of the best service level.
Okay, right, thanks. I think we've just run out of time there. I've got one very quick question for you, then we'll wrap up. And I'd like to thank everyone who's been able to participate today. Really appreciate your presence here. You can see Louis' email up on the screen there. If you have any questions, he's very available, and you can contact him with any questions, technical, commercial, whatever. Yeah, there's a quick question maybe for the end. I can't see analytics. You talked about analytics, Louis, at the end. I can't see it on your website. Is that?
Yeah, as I say, it's something we are working on secret for years now.
Okay.
We have done a lot of spoilers, and we have released a lot of spoilers and trailers about analytics. So it's something incoming for 20th of October, and in coming days, coming weeks, we will progressively distribute and release marketing materials, so including the website, to talk about analytics and what is the magic inside of analytics. So stay tuned, and you will see news and marketing materials, webinar invitation coming in next days.
Okay, so it's a massive development, and we're all very excited here about analytics. It's going to be great. So more on that later. Thank you, Louis.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, everyone.
And just wrap up by saying that obviously we'll be able to talk soon with the analytics webinar, probably late October, early November. And we'll leave the session open for a few more minutes. If you do have any more questions, or if you want to take a second to answer our poll, please do that. And I hope you have a great day, great rest of the day, and speak to you soon. All the best.
Bye-bye.